another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show by people. Billies our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that will feel happen like I got blue skies. And nothing make people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play a role, get where you need to. You can tune in from work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait? It's a time calling. It's a show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show, my people. Billies our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that will feel happen like I got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies.
Good morning, Belize. Welcome to the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, Monday morning, 25th November 2024. We hope your morning is getting off to a beautiful start. As always, we are always very pleased when you have chosen to start your day here. You could start it anywhere else, but here it is. You're here. Creme Radio and XTV. And we are in full hosting, welcoming mode right now. I'm Mose, Hyde, hosting today. We want to welcome each listener, viewer, everybody getting us via our apps, getting us online, social media streams, simulcast coverage. We trust that you have gotten up today with excellent health, your energy levels through the ceiling, your vibrations positive, and that you've got space and time to work with way, present, I also participate. That way we love. That way we love. So guess what? We're going to break it down like this. Before we jump into the main event, you know how it goes. We got to serve up some early morning stuff, warm up, preliminary stuff for you. We've got a bit of news, but before we get to the news, we got your weather forecast. I'm sure you're interested to find out what kind of day you have on your hands. It's going to help you in so far as how you're going to dress. We've got people who work the waters, and the weather is always of maximum importance. So here comes a little bit of weather information for you. Forecaster on duty this morning, Catherine Kamabach.
Good morning, Belize. A northerly airflow continues to support mainly fair conditions. The 24-hour forecast of Belize and her coastal waters calls for sunny skies today intervals, and high temperatures today are expected to reach 82 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 84 inland, and 72 over the mountains. Tonight, the skies will be partly cloudy with low temperatures of 22 along the coast, 66 inland, and 62 in the higher elevations. Shower activity will be isolated. The winds will blow from the north to northeast at 5 to 15 knots, and the sea state will be choppy. A high tide will occur at 5:56 a.m., followed by a low at 21 minutes past midday. Another high will occur at 6:21 in the evening and a low at 1:07 a.m. The sun will rise at 6:03 and set at 5:16. The moon set at 1:44 this afternoon and comes up at 2:12 tomorrow morning. Your look for Tuesday and Tuesday night is for generally fair weather to prevail, and shower activity will be isolated except for the south where a few more can be expected. In the sargassum forecast, impacts, if any, from sargassum will continue to be minimal as observations show little to no sargassum over our area. And in the tropical weather outlook for the North Atlantic, the Caribbean Sea, and the Gulf of Mexico, tropical cyclone formation is not expected through the next 48 hours. And that's your morning forecast that was prepared here at the National Meteorological Service.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news. The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news. The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news.
Welcome to the morning news report here on the WB. A new deal was struck Saturday for developed countries to pay US $300 billion per year by 2035 to help developing nations fight climate change. The announcement came at the end of the 29th Conference of the Parties for the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, held in Azerbaijan's capital, Baku. The COP had entered overtime with nearly 200 developing countries trying to rescue the climate deal. Talks were said to be on the verge of collapse when some of the most climate vulnerable countries stormed out. The US $300 billion deal wasn't what many wanted at these talks. Poorer countries had asked for $1.3 trillion to help them fight the climate battle. But there were moments when it seemed like there wouldn't be a deal at all. Last week Friday, Dr. Kenrick Williams, Chief Executive Officer of the Ministry of Sustainable Development and Climate Change, delivered Belize's national statement at the COP summit. He said that with a combination of losses from Hurricane Lisa in 2022, the wildfires earlier this year, and now Tropical Storm Sara, Belize has lost more than $200 million, or 6% of GDP, in less than 2 years.
Climate-related disaster serves as a profound reminder. Adaptation investment is not a luxury, nor is it a charity. Rather, it is indispensable for our survival. Like other SIDS, we face unique vulnerabilities with limited capacity to adapt. Just this past Sunday, Tropical Storm Sara made landfall in Belize, bringing intense rainfall, widespread flooding, and threatening lives and livelihoods of our people. Coupled with the most severe wildfires this year and Hurricane Lisa in 2023, aggregate loss and damage stands over $200 million, or over 6% of GDP in just 2 years. Regrettably, this cycle of loss and damage reoccurs much too often. This is why we need doubling of adaptation finance, and we need fast tracking of loss and damage finance. Belize, a small nation with an overwhelming stake in this crisis, stands here, not just with words, but with the weight of our people's future. Our position is clear. Climate justice and equity must prevail.
As expected, Dr. Williams emphasized the disparity when it comes to contributions to global warming from developed countries versus developing countries. He noted that while developing countries like Belize already contribute the least towards greenhouse gas emissions and are doing their part to eliminate them, the effort has to be matched by the developed countries.
We're already suffering, and most who stand to lose everything unless we act now. As the world edges closer to permanently breaching 1.5 degrees of warming, the toll on our ecosystems, economies, and our communities is devastating. The transition away from fossil fuel is mandatory and urgent. We call on G20 to bring forward 1.5 aligned NDCs immediately. Belize is already doing its part, but all our efforts will be undermined if those who are most responsible fail to act with the urgency and scale that is required. Climate finance remains critically inadequate. The NCQG must reflect the urgency we face and ensure new, predictable, accessible finance that responds to our unique vulnerabilities and is fit for purpose.
The decision of Miss Universe Belize for our contestant Halima Hoy to feature the sacred deer dance of the Mayas as the national costume in the recent Miss Universe pageant 2024 has generated much conversation on social media, with the National Institute of Culture and History, NICH, being urged to use this as an opportunity to begin a wider and formal dialogue about adaptations of traditions and cultures for such uses. Hoy herself has said it was never her intention, or that of the MUB organization, to offend anyone. Weighing in on the conversation Sunday was Leslie Mendez, attorney representing the claimants in the Maya land rights case. First, she narrated her initial experience observing a deer dance rehearsal in a Maya village down south. In describing the experience down to the smallest details, she shared that the women periodically stopped and prayed throughout their cooking while the costumes were blessed with copal and the deer masks sat in an altar surrounded by candles. At the same time, a youth took instruction from an elder on playing the drum. Mendez wrote, "It is hard to understand the sacred. I do not think Miss Hoy had any ill intent. I think she wanted, with pride, to honor something beautiful and unique in Belize. But I think we can all try to understand how jarring it must have been for many in the Maya communities, especially the elders who have a completely different relationship with these cultural artifacts to see the mask, the costume, and the dance used and displayed in a setting that is entirely removed from meaning and ritual. A man was fatally run over by a Chevy pickup truck Friday night near the entrance of Trinidad Orange Walk. The man has been identified as 56-year-old Louis Koo of. According to witnesses of the tragedy, Koo was walking home on the side of the main road when he was struck by the vehicle. According to reports, Koo had just collected his salary and had gone to purchase groceries, which were left scattered at the scene. Police are investigating. Minister of Foreign Affairs Honorable Francis Fonseca traveled to Guyana last week to attend the CARICOM India Summit. There, CARICOM leaders met with PM Narendra Modi of India, who shared projects and programs India would like to initiate in the region. In a Facebook post, Fonseca stated that Belize is also expected to benefit from these initiatives. Fonseca reported that during the visit, Belize officially opened the Belize High Commission office in Guyana. Belize's High Commissioner in Guyana is Her Excellency Gail Miller Garnett. Fonseca also met with Belizean students studying at the University of Guyana. A fire was reported Friday night around 7:30 at a food stall on Mahogany Street in Belize City, which was damaged by the blaze. Fortunately, there were no reported injuries. Fire personnel responded to the scene not long after. The cause of the fire has not been reported as yet. And that's all we've got this morning in our morning news. We will now take ourselves a break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to open up for conversation. You're listening to Creme Radio. You are watching XTV.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. The news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports.
All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Believes Morning Vibes. Mose Hyde in the house, and it's now our time. You, Uno, me, we link, and that's what this is. Wake Up Believes Morning Vibes on a Monday morning, as we are kind of on the last lap for November 2024, incredibly, and it's still the same formula. Still about getting you on board. The telephone number is 280-5848. That's the direct line for you to participate in the conversation. And feel free to jump in. Of course, you're not obligated to talk about what we're talking about. That's not the way it works around here. All right. Thanks to Sister Yaya holding the fort last week. She was hosting. I was not in studio last week. But here we are. A new week, a new morning. Give thanks. Always. And so a couple of things while we wait for you to sort out your affairs that you can call, because we know you will. A couple of things while you do that on this Monday morning. We hear about the climate change deal that was struck, and so that was a part of our newscast this morning. But before we have anything to say about that, I just have to just offer my congratulations to I don't know how I don't know, there's a whole lot of mix-up going on there, but let me just take this call. Good morning, WB.
Brother,
Yes, good morning.
Brother, Luke Colombo here, brother.
Huh?
Luke here, brother.
Yes.
Brother, could you please allow me? You know, I've always called the radio and said, people should not put their business out there. It's never good. It's never good to call and get personal. No? I have a little situation that I feel it's my personal business, and I think I need to say, you know, God bless my grandmother. I love her with every fiber of my being. You know, and I love my grandmother, but, you know, my grandmother is 91 years old today. Now, what happens when I was growing up changes now. Like, I have children now. And I love my grandmother. Don't get me wrong. She has made me one of the best person I could be. But I find myself impossible to speak to my children around my grandmother because she defends this and like, you're so mean, you're this and that, and times change. But I want to know how. Do you understand me, Mose? How is it that the things that I couldn't do are able to be done today? Well, because I'm sick, or is it because my grandmother has gotten older and not have the energy to pick up that fight anymore? You understand me? And remember what I'm saying. I am not saying my grandmother is bad, but what I am also saying is my grandmother should give me a chance to speak. Like, listen, I will give you one instance. My grandmother gave my son $20. This is the last thing he told him. Do not spend my money. When my son go home, then see my son look all the free man, what happened to you? Walk up to the boy, son, what happened to me? Well, I got to put to me. Right? I spend the money. Just so the last thing the baby tell you, do not spend the money. I said, well, you saw something, and I back so far, your head will have. So I really that I see. No, I did not hit my child. I did not slap the boy. I told him that. And that was the end of that. What I told him, this is Wednesday, so walk up to school, Thursday, Friday, and the teacher walk a few days. To my grandmother, that was draconian, that was mean, wicked. Most I walk 2 miles to school every day when I was small. And sometimes you go home, you got nothing to eat. You understand me? But you know what? I don't lecture with Granny, but to God knows, I have had a situation where I've called
It's
Unless this and that, we can't do nothing. Every three of them said nothing like good news was. Three of them said we cannot do nothing in this situation. Once I reached the point where I decided I should have done this, I'll kill me if they did it. I just left alive. Then I explained to them, I'm in the car, I don't know. I'm in the car, you don't know. I can't school my child. I can't talk to her. And then you can't explain to Anita, you can't do this. Why, I don't know what they wait for, they wait for something bad to happen. But these departments, when they go to beat their chest and talk about, and we want to do it, they don't mean it, Mose. Because I called from the Tuesday before the 19th. And you know what they answered? Man, the police department said, Mr. California, could you just relax, man, just go in the next room and not pay that no man. You understand me? You know that they showed up, Mose, but you make them do
what did you want them to do? Kalimo, what did you want them to do?
I wanted them to come and speak to my wife, my children. I wanted them to come and say, well, listen, these are rules. A child cannot come home and tell his father, I'm going up, because I don't dress up my friend on the way to me. I thought that was wrong. I really and truly thought it was wrong. In your time, Mose, could you just show up with your friend and say, when we going out? No, you asked permission.
Yeah,
I think it was wrong. I think my grandmother was wrong for getting upset, and I wasn't upset, though. I took my daughter, I took her out, I gave her $100. I said, listen, the next time you want to go out, if you wait till the last minute, I will tell you no, and you are begged. You understand me? I went home and tried to tell my wife that she got upset. She knew talk to nobody. What am I doing here?
Interesting. Let me say. Kind of more.
I called the National Women's Commission to make them talk. More than the man here. This house is mine. I am the boss in this house. I can't say nothing to my children. What am I doing in that house?
How old is your daughter?
My daughter is 16, I think. 16.
16.
Yes.
So,
I'm not even mad that she went out.
So hold up, no man, hold up.
Principle of the matter. I am not mad. I gave her money. I said,
Kalimo, make a reason, no, sir. Make a reason, no, sir. Make a reason back and forth. Give me a chance, sir. So, I think very few parents in a situation like that want to call the police, right? And in fairness to the police, it's like at that point in time, what maybe they should have, and I think what you're putting out there, because you have to think about the fact that these agencies are designed to deal with situations that have exploded. They have not been wired in our kind of preemptive mode, and so your view of it is that they should have looked at this as an opportunity to prevent something from happening. And but you know make a finish, man. You know make.
Because it will look bad on me. If I get upset more, it will always look bad on me. Whenever I have a
so Kalimo.
Because I look bad if I don't.
Kalimo, I think what people have to know, make them understand why, especially in particular the police, they should have been a bit more reactive, right? More responsive, because you have priors. Your police have on record of you, as told to us by you. I don't know your business where you not tell we, right? So they know that you're a man that has let us put it this way, one short fuse, or at least there was a time when you had one.
Right. You know what the police said? Brother, calm down. Listen, right now the night, this and that. Man, I would say, yeah, make your girl stress out. I understand nobody, but then, that's not something when nobody's not nobody, and we don't really get involved in that time. Calm down and think it through. But what I'm saying was, this was the moment where somebody they cried to them.
Yeah.
And they refused to do. You know, I get to put my business out there like this.
Right.
But to God, I wanted to do something so bad, and then tell this woman, I called you, you didn't show up.
I understand. Which you kind of make her hesitate, understanding that you are already in a triggered way. If you say, well, I said before your call. So maybe I should have waited till after you come off. But I feel you. I would say this as well as say your call your talk show bedroom, because that's the extent of a relationship. But with a bedroom in the talk show space, I would say to you, brother, that we're more important that for understand where part your daughter there and we part for own relationship there, we kind of make it gone on away. I don't know. Could I finish?
All right. My daughter sent me a message that she wanted to go. I never see it. When I got home, but because she don't dress up and say, I don't send you a message. In my world, that's not how you do it.
Right.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't tell my mom, well, I'm going because I don't send you a message.
Yeah.
That's not the way it's done.
Right.
You understand me? No,
I understand.
I took her. I gave her extra money to buy what she wanted. I said, babe, enjoy yourself. Just remember, next time when you want to do this, do not do it like this. I'm going to tell you can't go.
Yeah.
You understand me?
Let me tell you from my experience, Kalimo, I don't know how many teenagers you have been through. I don't know if this is your first teenager.
This is not.
Okay. So you understand that teenagers, it's a unique part of the journey of parenthood, and teenagers are definitely challenging, and it's not the easiest part of the journey, right? And I view it as always big picture, right? And I feel that a lot of the problems, in my experience, really communication based. And when you work on your communication, your interpersonal communication especially with adolescents, because it's no longer where the communication can be from top to down, and it's just this kind of, you're just this little child and I can tell you what to do. Now the relationship is changing and you have to adjust the way how you are handling the communication space. And if you are doing a terrible job at that, if you are not doing an adequate job, and if you have not prepared for this time, you have some problems. Children are different. Some are going to be easier than others. Some have a more strong will. Remember now, some of your personality is being determined by your genetic inheritance. And so you can't stop the fact that a little bit of you, they in your daughter. And so I would suppose that you come across as a very strong-willed fellow, so then obviously now the possibility that your daughter will have one strong will is there. So now you have two strong wills, they come together, and now you have a child becoming now a young adult. So there's a recipe there for little for combustion. No, I think it's not for you to think that your daughter is a bad person. I think it's just for you to look back and say, okay, how we can improve communication. And of course, as the parent, you do have to say, listen, as you know, then what people would say, once you're under the roof, you're under the rules. And so you have to respect that. Respect the fact that, you know, when you become a young adult and you defend for yourself and you deal with certain things, then there are you'll get greater freedoms. We can work on how I could start to respect the fact that you are no longer a baby and I can be a better parent in this time of growth.
When I wasn't just aware that I called you this morning mode because I was the calmest mode.
Okay.
I said, baby, Daddy don't tell you anything wrong with me. Tell me you are always be free to go. Right?
Yeah.
But you can't call last minute with all your friends at the gate and just look for me and tell me, when I went out time, don't text you already. You know what to that. You get me? That's not how it works, man. And I'm not an idiot.
But I say, listen,
when it comes to my
Kalimo, be honest with you. That one mild version of adolescence challenges. That one mild one. Be really do that one slighters. Hey, Kalimo, that one slighters. Okay? So put on your.
All of these people who are there to help me,
Yeah.
and they just said, basically, boy, you need to sell yourself for a man up. You understand me? You know,
I think they're not prepared. I think people are generally not prepared for a man to call as a father reaching for this kind of intervention. Like, I don't know how often they have experienced such a call. Like, I would, if I were to put down money, I would say that they have not received a call like this before.
the only reason why I called was because both parties were the adults were for me. So, okay, we understand you.
Yeah. Hello. You're gone, brother? Oh. This phone are there. Hello. Hello. No, it's not gone. This phone go on trip in, trip out where you do, man.
I spoke to my wonderful, loving grandmother, and she was like, okay, I understand, but you see what happened? The first reaction.
So your grandmother was supportive of your daughter.
More than me in the beginning, and then yesterday she understood what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
She finally said, "Okay, look, I understand you. You understand me? It wasn't that was going on.
Okay.
It was how you did
So
it.
let me get you off that. I wanted to congratulate the leader of the opposition in the House. I think that's how you have to say it. The Honorable Shine Bao on his documentary. I think we have to be grown-ups and be able to. Yes, we understand there's a lot of local turmoil around the Honorable Shine Bao. There's a lot going on within the opposition party and all of that. And then, of course, being in politics, you're in the rough and tough game of politics, and we understand the nature of that. Because I am not talking about him in the capacity of the politics around him. People who have listened to the show or watched the show know that is not the area that I go into. And because I know your personal feelings about it, I broke around with you a bit, but I just want to say that what am I to do? Not say that this documentary is a powerful piece of storytelling, and that whatever your feelings are about Shine and his journey with politics here in Belize, what you have to accept is that Shine is the most famous Belizean in the world, and he now has the most famous story about a Belizean in the world, and that has been told, and it will, and the number of people who will know this story will just continue to grow. And no, I don't want you bringing, I don't want you, huh?
They never liked the guy. He never got a fair shot. But the shine that was on those tours is the shine I would like to see in the league.
All right, but okay, but
clean, trust, understanding, and willing to work with everybody. And that's the shine I want to.
All right, brother, but listen to me.
That guy with one deep down yellow man and backs up this one.
All right,
we don't want that guy, man.
All right.
I know that this guy has the potential to be great, but he needs to work with people.
All right.
I believe in China. I tell the Prime Minister that China have more ways. He pick my pin on the 31 and he left.
All right.
So I know China got it. You need to show it to the rest of the world.
Like I say again, I give you you'll get your opportunity for get to
what you know, man.
Listen.
I want you to keep my eye for you.
So,
don't call me dumb little guy, talk about it. When I normally want to talk about it, you don't want to talk about it.
No. But listen. I think it's important for us as a people to be able to be mature rather than to be emotional. And so you know, allow me to talk at all this morning, Calmore.
Go ahead.
You make I just feel like I gotta fight for you. Listen, I just wanted to be clear, right? And I'm glad that you've called, because I know that you've expressed your issues, and he still has to, you know, as a part of his political journey, he has to navigate that terrain. That's his business.
Yeah.
But what we do need to understand is that whatever what I would call, you know, your opinion of things he stands up for, or things he said, or things he's done, that's on you. What we are looking at is incredible achievement to have your story basically be told globally, to be put on a platform where all corners of the earth will have access to that and will know that story, and ultimately it's a story of redemption, and that is just incredible. And as a people, as a nation, we should be proud of that, and we should be proud of just the fact that, again, whatever your feelings about him politically, the fact remains is that you could take away everything that he's involved in politically. It does not diminish the story of resilience and redemption that is Shine Bauer. So we as a people have to say, listen, that ultimately is not a UDP story. It's not a UDP faction story. That is a Belizean story. That is a Belizean achievement. That is Belizean, to the world. And so I salute it. I salute the Honorable Shine Bauer. In fact, I messaged him. Congratulations. I absolutely enjoyed the documentary. Obviously, it was well done. And I'm extremely proud. That story goes to the world. Good. No, you could.
I know that the man is capable.
You only see him. You still only want to talk about Shine in the capacity as your leader, Kalimo. That is the problem. This is.
I know he's involved in that politics.
You're very involved in it. You're very involved to the point that you are banned from calling you. Yeah, you're very involved. You're very involved. Huh? You're made up?
They let me rain follow without chat. I wasn't attacking the guy in the beginning, but anyway, you know what was? The story is a great story.
Yeah.
You know what I like about the story? The story let a lot of Belizeans understand that Shine went that year because he really know it's somebody and he took the rock to that somebody. They don't make an easy one, but because they know the big man and the big man go have a ride with the big man. And he took a 9 years into that big man story, come back and then throw things in it. I'm glad it's out there, and I'm glad that a powerful story. It's about somebody who gone to the end and came back and did something great. And he should give the guy a chance. Now he needs to give me a chance to give him a chance. And if he continues his behavior like that, he can't.
All right, Brother Collymore. Again, going back to your original point of calling, adolescents are, I guess the only people more difficult for manage than politicians are teenagers, no? So.
I just wanted maybe the police or the men to understand. When people call them up, take their call seriously, man. Don't wait till something happens and then somebody get hurt and then jump there and make a lot of bigger.
I agree.
The person called you and he was crying out and said, come. I agree. You don't make me do something else out of it. Because if that wasn't with my family, then I would have lost it just to prove my point.
Collymore.
Yeah.
Don't lose it, right? Don't lose it. And ultimately, Collymore, I don't know if you've ever read the poem Children by the writer Khalil Gibran. Have you ever read that poem?
No, sir, and I'm gonna look it up right now.
All right, so it's a poem that I actually first heard from one of my mentors, the late Dr. Leroy Tega, and it really in a time of great uncertainty as to, especially with a child and a relationship with a child, it's a very powerful instruction as to how you view a child. And what I took from that poem is that a child is not your property. The child comes through you, but it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to... it's a beautiful poem because it gives you a kind of a orientation as to how you have to think of your child and the responsibility that you have to the child. And I'm saying to you that very often we have this view that a child is our property. And I think when you read that poem, I want you to look up the poem and tell me what you think. It's Children by the artist Khalil Gibran. Just look it up.
Huh? What's the name of the artist?
Khalil Gibran.
All right, good. Thank you, both.
And it's called Children.
Thank you very much, brother Mose.
All right. And then make sure you read it, and then make sure you read it and tell me what you think, right?
Call you back, man. Call you back, man. Your feedback. Right, folks.
All right.
Okay,
Respect. All right. Not what I thought I'd be talking about to begin the morning here, but that's, of course, not a man who has us as his number one talk show. We had his substitute. Right now, he has to use the substitute more than he uses his primary platform because of things he's gotten himself into and he's deeply involved in. This is Wake Up Billy's Morning Vibes, and we will now go to 2 Cents Calm. We'll take a break. 2 Cents Calm is, of course, brought to you by 4 Point Security. We then take our first commercial break of the morning and then come back. We are still going to be here open for conversation. This is Wake Up Billy's Morning Vibes.
Watching WUB, this is XTV, and the documentary is out with Shine. And a lot of people got a lot of things to say. Some say interested, some say they're not interested. Here where they go on. Me go find out the people playing 2 cents and see how the streets feel about it.
Well, I don't see it yet, but they look the song interested with the trailer. I watched that and that #1 for Hulu, so you know, shine a bad man, brother. Give the man what he do.
Like 2 cents.
Yeah, of course.
See? You don't see it?
I don't see.
You're not interested to see it. You want to see it. That's a 2 cent question.
I don't see it, bro. I don't see it, pa.
You don't see it?
No.
That's your 2 cents.
I don't see it, pa. But the real, what do you want?
Right. Seen Shine documentary. What you think about
Not interested in seeing nothing about Shine, sorry.
That's your 2 cents.
But I might 5 cents, 6 cents.
Shine, the man say, you see Shine documentary?
Shine documentary.
Yeah.
I heard about it.
You heard about it?
Yeah.
All right. And what you heard, what you think about what you heard?
I think that he's making a plea that he's useless because people already know his record, and the guys is not. They don't want him to get in.
All right. That's your 2 cents.
Uh-huh.
You think about the Shine documentary?
Boy, I feel like Shine now a great man, you know. All we have to do is just give the man one break, man, because the man a do good for the people and too. Dig? You just left the who like the man and who not like the man, dig?
That's your 2 cents?
Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
To be honest, I not see it. I see comments that people say good. I hear my friend there, your people there say never bad, but I'll watch it later. If people say good, then they must say good because you know, shine or shine.
Shine documentary, what do you think about it?
That is a waste of time, bro.
Really?
I don't see the documentary.
But what do you think? Where you?
Well, I hear Disney have one documentary with the man life.
How you rate it?
I can't rate it if I don't see it. I have to see it, but can't burn fire upon nobody, you know.
Morning Vibes, and we are open for conversation. The telephone number 280-5848. That is the live line for you to join in and be a part of our conversation on this Monday morning, the 25th of November, 2024. One of the things I have to talk about, of course, as we mentioned in the news, there's been a lot going on in the COP 29. One of the big things has been climate change money at this year's COP, which is just a meeting all the nations, most of the nations of the world, to deal with climate change. And Belize was there, and I used to be a part of delegation from the 5 Cs. I was invited by the former executive director, Dr. Henrik Leslie, and I actually got the chance to have lunch with Dr. Leslie a couple weeks ago. Kind of just talk into things for a while. It was really good to catch up. He's now retired. But one of the things he was telling me is, because I said to him, I said, I don't have any optimism at all. I thank him. I learned a lot. I was exposed a lot via those trips, and I think I would hope that by sharing those COPs live right here in this space, kind of just created an awareness and a consciousness. But right now we have a call. Krem, good morning, WB.
Brother Mose, good morning, my great friend.
Good morning, Mr. Torres. How are you doing?
Yes. I believe I never get it right. Perhaps you could assist me in gaining knowledge. I believe somewhere I never follow it through that they discontinue financially supporting the Constitution group where they study the Constitution towards amendments. If I am correct, I don't know. But nevertheless, I have always said, my dear friend, that personally, I don't know, enjoy your details. I don't know how to attorney at law. I know you know how to present one case to court. I don't know much when it comes to the legal circles. But yes, I do read and I believe I'm somewhat self-taught indeed. And yes, I learn from others, different callers to the various shows. Very good. It's a learning process.
Yeah, we're having some issues, unfortunately, with our phone, and we're going to try to get the technicians in. It really comes and goes. So I know you're still on, Mr. Torres, but we are unable to hear you right now. Hello. I already came back just as you kind of hung up, Mr. Torres. Not exactly a good problem to have. Well, no problem is good to have, but if you're a talk show, call-in talk show, and the phone is not working, it's never a good thing. Yeah. We're going to get this resolved today. Unfortunately, we are unable to we need to get the telephone people to come in and see why it's disconnecting from the network. It's really disconnecting from the network. And so we must have some wire or something that's not really connecting here. All right. So I was talking a little bit, I think, before Mr. Torres called in, reflecting a little bit on my journey covering the COP event, the climate change conferences, which one is going on. And we reported on news today that there was an agreement of $300 billion per year starting in 2035 for developing countries, those who are the ones that are being affected the most by climate change. Belize is one of those countries, being a nation that has significant coastline, and a significant portion of the coastal communities being vulnerable to all manners of climate change challenges, and as well all the challenges we're seeing in agriculture. It's climate change is really happening, and it happens in such a way that there's nobody that says, oh, this is climate change Grand Central, where everything that's happening around the world, which is just disasters of all nature, just happening, and you know, people report them as an individual thing, but when you really go and you think about it, it's like it's all happening, right? As was kind of pointed to. I really started going to the COP, I think maybe some about 12 years ago, and I really appreciate it, and I thank Dr. Leslie. I said, you know, I really appreciate it, but I had to admit to him that at this point, going to those meetings and then seeing how things have unfolded convinces me that, you know, there is no reason for optimism that these processes are going to result in any kind of significant change in behavior. This will unfold how it has to unfold, which is where we should be. We should be understanding. One of the things that Dr. Leslie pointed out to me, and he was saying, you know, one of the things he's uncomfortable with is that a lot of these countries are just making their climate change game plan based around trying to get funding, trying to get money, trying to get, it's like that's what it has become. They have backed down from, you know, the kind of organizing around figuring out how to bring pressure, and also how to, on the ground, change the way how we approach our own development and our own realities to deal with what inevitable is going to come. A lot of disruption, a lot of hard, difficult, challenging changes to our environment, and significant environmental impact. So what we have made the primary game plan right now in dealing with climate change is just to see how much money we can get. Now, a couple of years ago at the same conference, they were able to get the world, these big countries, to commit to 100 billion a year. They found out, well, that's not enough. And then, even though the commitment was made, these countries were not even giving the money. So somebody is saying that they're going to give you the money, signing and agreeing, and that they have all the power and they run things. What you do when they don't give? So it sounds good, and in fact, some of the countries have said that. And you go online and you see some of these countries are saying, one, this is no kind of money for you to talk about. Sounds like a lot, $300 billion per year. But one, these countries have not shown a tendency to make good on these things. They had said they were going to get 100 billion, and for 2 years there was not a copper. So now you hear it's going to be 300 billion starting 2035. And ultimately, it's way short of what they were asking for. But also, how are we changing who we are, understanding what's going to come? Because now they have an entire COP. There was once some COPs when it was all about creating behavioral change in mankind, trying to limit how much global temperature increase is going to happen. They rallied around, actually, the number came out of the Caribbean, came out of the Climate Change Center, the 1.5. We can keep the increase on the 1.5 or less. We're going to be able to walk this narrow line of impact and come out on the other side. We've kind of backed down from that. The last couple of COPs has been just about, you know, we want money. We have to get money because of the impact. But to what extent internally, to what extent we they make the changes where we need to make to deal with this reality. And they say, well, climate change don't bother me. A lot of what we're experiencing, a climate change reality, come with one tag or one label, say, I am the way I am because of climate change. If you get a storm pass through and it produces 4 to 6 more inches than it would have produced, it would have produced 15 years ago. It doesn't say, well, a disclaimer brought to you by Climate Change 2024. There's no tagline with things that are impacted. There's no tagline to certain things that are taking place in agriculture. There's no tagline with some new fungus, some new bug that's getting into our crops. There's no tagline that says climate change, but it is climate change based. So there's no tagline insofar as the experience we had just a while ago when we found out about the King Tide and our streets were flooded and it had not rained. Yes, we are used to floods. Tap gallon is something that people know every now and then. You live in the river valley, you're getting a tap gallon. That's when the flood come down. That's what they're experiencing now. So in the river valley, Rancho Dolores to Burl Boom, they are being impacted. It's not their first rodeo. They know this. Cayo, not their first rodeo. The thing is not that there is going to be something new, is that things become more intense. And things become a little bit more than it used to be. If we don't want to pay attention to that, if we're not going to demand that we reach a level of where we are making decisions based on what's going to happen, and somebody say, well, you know what, the world said that in 2050. So not at 25 years from now, that's not going to do with me. Many of us alive now will not be alive in 2050. But most of our children will be. And we say we love our children. The question is, are we acting as if though we do? What are we leaving to them? Are we just preoccupied with what today? I didn't make it today. The water not that I might need today. The islands are still there. The coastline, yeah, we know Monkey River, the challenge, but we're not preoccupied. We're not worried about what kind of resources we're putting into coastal zone management, or what kind of resources, what kind of capacity it has, and how much we depend on the coast and what it has to say to us. So the news coming out, of course, of the COP is 300 billion. I don't know if we ever see a couple of that, but what we do have in our power to do is to be more science-based and understand that we can't be business as usual with our resources because we have to do certain things to survive. How difficult it's going to be. Listen, we still have some opportunities here. We still have some space for maneuver. You can go online and to see how countries like South Sudan have been ravaged. Large areas where they used to could have cattle completely submerged in water. You can check the images, for example, of just a couple of weeks ago. Go online, you want to see a flood? Go and check the images or visual images from the flood that happened in Spain, Valencia, Spain. They ended up stoning the king of Spain. They lost a couple, I think it's like a couple of hundred people. You look at those images, like you say, wow. We're not talking here about a flood that was caused by some kind of hurricane or some kind of tidal wave. But it looked biblical, the way that water rushed through that community. And you understand there are levels to this. And we can either wait till something real out of the other hit we. If we say, well, boy, we get a wake-up call, or we get a wake-up call now. Let's see if we can get this call on. WB, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Mose.
Good morning.
I want to be quick, Mose.
Yeah,
I
go
want
on.
to speak about the public servants, workers, stuff. What they came and did in PG or Toledo. They came here to have a session because they wanted retirees to venture into gardening. The session went, Mose, and nothing happened. When we called to inquire about the soil and the seedling, we were cut off the chat group, and they created another chat group. They came back because they were saying that they were going to give chicks. More, when their people choir, they choir like a thief in the night, and they only invited a few people, quite a number of people wanted the chicks, were interested in chicks. And they only selected a few cars and then to come back the PG man and give their people release the chicks. When they apply for chicks, the chicks.
When they apply for what?
Chicks. They want retirees to venture into raising chicks.
Chick mean like chicken.
Chicken, yeah. But they were giving chicks so that according to them, to reduce the cost of living. One way to reduce cost of living, no? So I want to call for them to come up to PG, man. So people, they already wait for the chicks. Really wait for the chicks, Mose. So thank you very much, Mose.
We'll wait for the chicks down in PG. All right.
Yeah.
All right, give thanks. And I'm happy to call, the phone survived that call. And just before we go off the break, Alexia, I shared with you just an image for people to see what, you might not have seen it in the news, but there was like this just awful flood that hit. This is our first, quote unquote, developed country. This is one of the rich countries of the world, Spain. And they were not prepared. The people got no warning that this would happen to them. So many of them died, and they were so angry about the fact that no warning came for something like that. That when the King of Spain tried to go down to inspect, he was ultimately stoned by staff. People in a stoner trying to get away. We want to experience all manners, hardships. We just want to get more difficult every year because nothing not change. Man decide we are dealing with what we have to deal with, and countries like Belize have not had the collective ability to be able to bring any pressure to bear for any course correction. We going down this road, come what may. Scientists better figure out how they want to deal with mercury cooler, how they want to get carbon dioxide out of the air, they want to figure it out. But we want to continue to put it in. That is our game plan. And so countries like Belize, hands out, we look for that. So when we do get the money, since we have made it all about getting the money, who decides what are the most urgent matters to be dealt with? Who is going to monitor the usage of such funds? That if it is that these funds come in the name of making us prepared for the inevitable hardships, and say, oh, we don't got hardships. Listen to me. I'm saying to you that just go. Most of you know how to search for stuff. Just go and search for climate change related hardships around the world. From flooding to droughts to unusual storms, unusual insects. Listen, I should say unusual insect behavior, infestation, like it's all over. Damage to countries, to cacao plants in Africa. Like it's adding up. And we will not be able to to say we want get away from all of that. You can't get away from it. In fact, we are seeing some of these things, and they have done the modeling. They know what will happen to our coastal communities. They know what will happen to a coral reef. They know all these things. So we can either pretend, well, I might know there when all of that happened. Well, they are now, and it start happening now. We just start begging for money. The question is, do we have a game plan? Where would they beg the money for? I don't hear about any. So, we experienced certain things. We had this Lee system come over, small Lee tropical storm, drop on a lot of water. It moves slow, drop on a lot of water. And we get some flooding out of it. And of course, flooding is never pleasant, especially if you're there the way where the water they come. I was out in Burl Boom by Block Orchid, and they have to prepare for the water coming up in the restaurant and the hotel, and lift up all the equipment, restaurant stuff, and put it up, and accepting the impact of, well, just when the tourism season they open up, this happens. So there are some money they lose right there, gone for the next couple of weeks. They flood out. But they've been down this road before, so this is not something new. This is not something we say. This is an image that we are showing right now. That is Spain. That's some weeks ago. That's what it looks like. That's what it looked like. They had no warning of that. That happened in the next part of the world, so like what we worry about. There are levels to this. And if they beg for money in the name of making us less vulnerable to what will have to happen, where we will experience what is going to go down, we can't just pretend, well, like we know interested in when they want to do with it, how they want to do it, and make sure that we get. But we're supposed to get then, since it's all about the money. We kind of, to an extent, abandon any collective push for say, man, we have to course correct. We have to, that what we can do. We can't continue like this, wipe we are for the face of the earth. You have countries in the islands in the Pacific where people have had to move from places they have lived for 1,000 years and just gone. The island exists no more. The only thing will happen now, 2050. Then it happen now. So our vulnerability is in the red. We cannot be careless, unconscious, the sleepwalk. At this time, anytime we hear climate change money, mitigation, adapt, way there, who want to run it, how you want to get done, how we want to get value for money, where we prioritize, we have to be engaged. If not for ourselves, for our children. We're going to take a break and come back.
The Belizean American United Organization
All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Believes Morning Vibes. Mose Hyde hosting today. Our telephone line, we think it's working a little bit better, so you can try 280-5848. And we were speaking before the last break about the whole climate change reality and the fact that news coming out of this COP meeting that is held annually, climate change, conversation, negotiations, people from around the world, and they've been lobbying to try to get the rich countries that are emitting most of the carbon into the air to pay to those countries who are dealing with the fallout from that. WB, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mose Hyde. Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Earlier you was talking about shine, right? You know, and, we Americans, we thinking, you know, when there was Tupac, Shakur, and Biggie Small, right, going to competition when they died out, we in the American hip-hop world was knowing that Shine was going to be next Biggie Small. You know, so he was about to blow up bigger than he was doing that shit at the club. He was about to blow up big time because he was the next Biggie Small in America. He started exactly like Biggie Small, and we Americans was hit for that. He was about to blow up big time. So yeah, big up to Shine Bauer and his documentary and everything. And your caller earlier was talking about adolescents and teenagers, right? The teenagers nowadays, when they do things, they have things planned from a month or 2 weeks ago. So that late notice was just an excuse for her to get away. You know, this is how these kids nowadays perform. These kids, they run away to go to dance and parties nowadays. You know, they do weird things that we never do back in our days. You know, sometimes you hear people say, this is missing. They're not missing. They don't have a record, so have a party for the weekend and they go back home like nothing happened. So that's a crucial point of the teenage life right now, what they're doing. They find excuses to get away because they know the outcome will be no, but the parents tell them to say no.
So brother, it's obviously every generation has a different energy, different wavelengths and stuff going on. Obviously, we never, the teenagers in the midst of social media and all of that and whatever. But ultimately, the spirit of the teenager spirit, no matter what generation, is about testing boundaries and to some extent wanting to do your own thing at that point in time. And unless you're the most boring, rigid, straight walking teenager in the history of the world, you can't tell me that you never try to see how you could beat the system and get around certain things and go and do certain things. Like that's just part of that's why when one child reaches that age, it becomes more complicated. But not try to say that there is that somehow this is a new thing with teenagers of 2024. It's the way of teenagers. It's the way of that time of development. I'm not a child psychologist. I'm not a counselor or anything like that. Just a parent. I've seen it. And, you know, as they would say, I never born big. All adults had to go through their teenage years. And some of them are more difficult than others. You know how it goes. I wanted to bring up something where, you know, people, especially people who drive, not so much people who walk, but people who drive, know that every time we get around this time of the year and we got a rain, we end up with holes. And then we got the whole thing. Oh, we got so much holes, we have to fix the hole. Did this happen? Did it broke up? And then you come and you're throwing some tar and stone, put that over, and okay, the hole is gone. And so we basically feel, well, rain wash the road, right? Now, the one thing for have one regular gravel road, for you get holes, in my view. But I see some sections of the road that broke up where, you know, I say, but the road are relatively new. So why they broke up? Why didn't get hole? Like I could understand, for example, there's been a part of the Southern Highway, the Thomas Vincent Ramos Highway, it's now called, which takes you down to PG, right at the cutoff there on the Hummingbird, and it's one road you take when you're going to go to Hopkins and Placencia and all those places. So there's a lot of work going on that section of the road now, because that road was really in bad shape, and still some significant portions of it are in bad shape. I remember when that road was built, because we used to go and do football games all the time down in Independence. So I know when there was no pave on that road, this would be in the 90s. And I remember when they started to do the road, which would be around like the middle part of the 90s, going towards, you know, the 2000s. And I remember when that road would get finished and you had lines and you had reflectors, and man, you know, like we used to go down to Independence. We know that licking. When you get that road there, it's like, whew, great. So that road there, for sure, over 2 decades old. And so, and remember you deal with gone through the phase where you had all them big trucks where they carry the oil from Spanish Lookout, go down that big creek. Now we carry sugar down that big creek. That road, they take leak, and it old, rain come and it broke up. So well, we get wear and tear. We have to know do maintenance, you do, you know, keep it up. We put down the first money, figure out road how it is, you could understand. So not all situations are the same. For the life of me, I know when this road, Philip Golson, for example, when that do, and that has been done several times. And I looked on the Leeway in the corner the other day, and I know like this highway gets submerged under water for any, gets submerged any at all. So I like, okay, so why broke up when it rain? Like I understand water, undermine it, but why as it rain it happened? Like why did the lifespan of it? It's like then you know. Again, you got potholes that take place in between Hallova and Ladyville. Relatively new piece of road. Relatively new piece of road. Not an engineer. But if I see one stretch of road last pretty good for 15, 20 years, and then I see one next stretch of road every 2 years or so, leeway and come down, we have to fix it. How many times they have to fix the mouth of the Philip Golson? Right just so as your front of courts coming down into town, that get broke up several times already. Why? Of course I have to ask the people and what are the experts. But for me, just as a lay person, it just seemed to me, well, you can't possibly build that the same way how other areas where not the broke up has been built. Right? Because, yes, we know that, okay, we're going to fix the road, but we're going to call. I'm going to take the call. WUB, good morning.
Yeah, it's me again, Mr. Mose. Hyde. You know, from my opinion down there, or even my experience, I've worked in construction management, and I've built roads on big televisions before, but what it is, when they build roads, they don't make what they can drain system for the water so far. You know what I'm saying? This is the issue when it comes to building roads. You know, drain system. Because eventually that water will just go under whatever concrete or tar or sand and gravel, whatever they mix down there
appreciate your input, especially since it's something you say you've been involved in. I think I wanted to connect what I would deem as our track record when it comes to this, right? With, say, we're going to get money to deal with climate change. Like, it can't be business as usual because, let us be real, the way it works is that when they go shopping for who want to build the road, they're not going to go shopping for, make we say whether your user reviews, make we say whether, no, for the life of the country, the people who get contract for building the road have to be connected. They have to be supportive. They have to link in with that particular administration we're in a part. And we know that we have seen where some people have, over the years, under both administrations, you've had contractors where do a fairly good job, the road lasts. Then you have some contractors where then just the hurry come up and then give way and then even have the experience. So if we say, you know what, we got this whole climate change thing where it come away, or where we experience and we only and get worse, and we need money to support we. When we say that we have to change how we go about do what we do, is that we not got no margin for error. Like, we can't work with somebody even if they're your connect, even if they're your link, even if that is somebody whether you know that they're not hardcore you, they're your supporter. If that person no one deliver upon the quality of job where you forget, if that person not fundamentally understand, we want value for money, we need to do it properly. Because if we have to spend, I don't know, I don't want to see some accounting pan the stretch between Belize and Haluva alone. WB, good morning.
Yeah, Panic Board. Yeah, I want to jump in for the road conversation now. I just want to remind people that the road from Cattle Landing Village to Big Farm, right? That road was built like 30 years, my brother. 30 years ago by a Costa Rican company, Meco and Santa Fe, they call the company. And for the time they built that road, up to today, only like one little small spot needed repair, one need repair now and again. But for 30 years, and look at PG, when we get rain, you come on all the time, we get rain.
Boy, that's an incredible start, Will, because if you're saying to me, I've been on that road, I know that road, I never even realized that road 30 years old. But
30 years old, my brother.
Yeah, the thing is this though. If we were going on here, cut down a barber one time, and when you left from the barber, somebody tell you about you got some big hole in your head, or they mark you brown, and that reputation starts to go. It no matter if you and a barber are bedroom, if one barber give you one body haircut one time, trust me, you're not going to look a second time, because it take a while before one hole go to your head. Either you left, well, I don't got a problem again. But there was once a time when I had that problem. You really have to think, like, we have to know, really when we think, anytime we see a piece of road we need for work, we want to know the history of the road. Like, I love the fact that you could tell me, yeah, we know the contractor will build this road and 30 years, and
30 years.
And you can't say that, well, you can't say, well, the water, they cause it alone, because if the one place get water, the place they figure the most buck up road, the PG, because of the water, you tell me that road they handle all the rain, then obviously something was done there that has not been done elsewhere.
Yeah. And a lot of times in the area of Jacintoville, my brother, sometimes, the water come over that road several times a year. And when that water goes down the road, still stay there, you know what I mean?
Where's the Costa Rican company name?
Meco and Santa Fe. And you know one of the reasons why I understand they never give them more contractors, because they build the road too good. Serious, that is nothing to laugh about, because that was one of remember they had another contract to go to Mango Creek.
I could understand if they say, no, we want support we own, right? But if they say they don't want to use the money, can they do the road too good?
Yeah.
And the next thing where I bring up, Will, is this as well. Like, the stretcher, the people who have one of the most legitimate cases for really, really be upset, the Punta Gordons, because of all the places I drive in our prime city, or town, in this country, the worst piece of road that a seaside road, I don't know where the road name.
Front Street, the PG.
Front Street.
Yeah.
Front Street is the most horrible state of, where the car like this are the center of town.
It's how you show off yourself.
And not only that, this is, and not only that, it would be, the equivalent of that would be if Marine Parade me broke up bad.
Yeah.
This is PG's version of Marine Parade, right? This is,
right.
This in front of the market area. Jesus. Then you navigate to a point where, well, okay, all evidence that may ever have paved, that gone. Like, I was like, wow, like nobody no care about this. I think you might have done you did a TikTok or something like that recently, right?
Yeah, a TikTok. Why, watch that. I have to move to TikTok, you look like, because like 2 hours after I talk about that TikTok thing, the man start to work for the thing, but then it look like the thing gone dead, so the thing halfway now.
Oh boy.
So, I mean,
the thing is that, listen, we hear from the MIDH that they're going to be doing the work and everything, and we see them out there. We see them doing whatever work. Obviously, the Belize City, and especially we understand politics, the election here in 2025. So we imagine that things are going to be fixed. The question that I have is, what system do we have in place to see, to evaluate and keep a record of how well things were done? It's like, that's not how well it look when they just do it. We have to measure the quality of that work based on how long it takes before we have to touch it again, unless there is something there. I know that there's a part of the road where we understand, like, they had to do the whole roundabout drive pile. That area is notoriously difficult because you have the water where just to sit down underneath, but that water don't sit down underneath right here at the entrance of the city, on the Philip Wilson Highway. So my question, and this is our second or third time I see that they broke up. I would want to know, is there a particular reason why they broke up, or is it based on how well it was done?
It's a hustling mode. It's a hustling. This is how contractors hustle for the political parties in this country. I would like them to do an audit. How much money was spent on that road, on that Philip Wilson Road, and the Western Highway between Belize City and Hattiesville in the last 30 years? We would need to do an audit on that and compare that, let's say, to the part of the road that was built in between Cattle Landing and...
You don't even have to go out. I think one audit on what has been spent between the entrance to the city and Halova over the last 30 years, we don't want audit on that.
Yeah.
And
we
then think...
audit, and I think that the contractors, we need to put their name up on our big signboard. This road was built by blah blah Hernandez in the year 20 whatever, and put their name there, because
claim your
political parties.
Claim your picnic.
Huh?
Claim your picnic. Whichever part of the road you do, you claim your child, you gain your last name.
Yeah.
You have to put if I get a chance on a contract and I get one run for you to, or get one, forget to say I want to do boom road, you have to put up a sign and say built by Mose Hyde in 2025 by so and so to, this a Mose Hyde baby, right here.
Yeah, exactly.
So if and you put the date of birth, right? So 2025. So now if 2027 in a bad shape, then we know You know what, Mose, I don't make good pick. You see the
But
kind.
yeah, then there's a Mose. They need to give it 2 years in a few months. Because see, our problem, I believe, now, everything that climate change, climate this, climate that. Man, I mean, like, you know, it's so ridiculous that everything get blamed for climate change now. And now, I mean, back to what we talked about earlier about the Azerbaijan thing now. Every minute, money will come. We got so much years of experience of experiencing erosion. Oh, we have to do a study. Now, how much bloody study we going to do? We need to put the work in. You know, like we get $1 million. Oh, we need to take $990,000 of that and do a study of the coastline.
Hire one, two consultants.
Well, hire 2 consultants, friends and family, a consultant, and then, you know, I mean, I don't know, man. I believe that one of the hesitation are the developed nations too, but then they to blame too, because if I give you $100 million for climate mitigation, then I need to demand how that is spent. You can't just take that and spend that how you want, you know, because we know how the hustling go, especially in other parts here. And
so
you know,
30 years the road in from the Big Fall, from the dump.
And, yeah, from Big Falls Village itself to cattle landing, because I think I'm at 20 miles stretch that may get that money if you do. And you know what was that was done for $100,000 a mile.
Okay, 30 years ago, you know.
Yeah, I know, but I just say compared to now.
We know that I think they said a mil a mile.
Yeah. Well, you know, in PG town they give $2 million, you know, for that front street. And you see how the front street stay right now. So somebody pocket the money.
$2 million for Front Street when that was done.
When just I could tell you right now on PG Day 2 years ago, the Honorable Mike Expert he announced that. And now, where is that money? Where are the streets?
For Front Street?
You know, one thing with the is that you can't really like, you know, one time you make a lot of promises and then you go and people forget about it, but now we have video evidence so we could replay the tape.
Yeah. Again, certain roads I perfectly could understand then it broke up. Like, where roads they put in work. Like, you know, then they do the work right now upon the entrance part, first 10, 15 miles of the Southern Highway, Thomas Vincent Ramos Highway. Then they do some work on that. That road mean have terrible shape. But that road will do it time.
Yes, but also too, we need to hold them people responsible because that road only start to get back up. And if you go back to the same right at WUB, where I warn them that they should have truck will block up the road 10 times faster, and that's what's happening. And ASR could hire the stevedores to put the sugar on the ship at Belize City instead of driving 100 miles extra. I keep saying that over and over.
Well, taxpayers want to pay the bill for the.
See, I mean that's always the case. The middle class and the poor people get screwed in an instant here. Now we know ASR not to pay for the fair share of taxes.
It's corporate. They don't like socialism only when to benefit the corporations. No, full socialism then.
Yeah.
Full.
It's so sad that our people, we got so much PhDs in the south, you know, so much of it, and RSA quite then prefer to broke up the vehicle instead of like car out the people then who get the contract then to have to their road.
I just want somebody to explain to me why the mouth of the city they buck up all the time when it rains.
Corruption. I just explained that to you. The corruption, they refuse to do it right because they use that as a way to hustle.
Well, it broke up again for sure. That cannot be disputed. Give thanks for the car, brother.
All right, thanks.
We go to break. We'll be back. All right, welcome back to the WB Wakeability's Morning Vibes. Mose Hyde hosting on this Monday morning, the first morning of the week, Monday the 25th of November 2024. And we, of course, invite your participation. Telephone number is 280-5848. This morning so far, we've spoken a little bit about the Honorable Shine documentary that was premiered last week, Monday. It's done extremely well streaming. We've spoken a bit about okay, let me take this call. WB, good morning.
Yeah, it's me again, Mose.
Yes, brother.
Back to the concrete, right? You gotta realize concrete, stone and gravel is like crack. Cocaine is like weed, you know what I'm saying? It's all calculation and stretching your money. It's like crack cocaine. When it goes up and brings us over there to America,
quite a comparison.
It's pure. When it gets to America, it's thin as cut. When it comes to concrete and doing roads and everything, you get every cubic square feet. You get with the thickness of the road, the width of the road, and the length of the road. So if I could shave off 5 8 to an inch and a half, going 2 or 3 miles, or even 10 miles. You know, I could put $100,000 in my pocket like that without you guys even knowing because of the paperwork. You're just showing the paperwork, yeah, we made 3 inch by 20 feet by 8 miles. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, you only did 2.5 inches or 2 3/4. So, like I said, concrete over there is like crack cocaine or like weed. It's all in the gates, all calculations and formulas. That's all I gotta say about the concrete game.
It seems to me, based on performance, that hot mix is superior to all other types of road work that we see. So you know, I think they're starting to have some consensus that, you know, where possible, where they can get it done, it will be hot mix. It seems to me, it's just, you know, where I see hot mix work done, it's like maybe that's not kind. Maybe you can't cover Benjamin's hot mix. Like, it's just, you have, if a hot mix, a hot mix. You can't give me one watered down.
Okay. Most. Okay. Another thing too, right? It's like if I do a foundation for a house or a ball and everything, I'm gonna use that concrete. An inspector comes and does that concrete, or one of the mixers see it has the perfect or the right PSI. You guys don't know the mixers. There's nobody that goes out and inspect the concrete or whatever type of gravel I use on the roads. You can inspect it to test the strength.
Yeah. Well, we have people that are on the public's payroll that are to be the experts and the people who are to ensure that we get what we're supposed to get, right? So when I'm not a lay person, I don't know a damn thing about constructing a road. I don't know a damn thing about how you make sure that you do chip and seal properly. I don't know that, but we have people who are supposed to tell us whether or not that job has been well done.
Yeah, right. The procedure, the steps, and that's what I don't think they're doing out there, because some of the roads are good, don't get me wrong, but the slope, I mean,
listen, I am not Vegas. I'm not even arguing that water are not a problem with anything we build, right? And I understand. Yeah. I understand erosion. I understand how undermining water is. Water undermining to cement, to board, everything. But then if we know, okay, we get X amount of rainfall, like for example, we know the more north you go, the less rainfall you got. The more south you got, the more rainfall. So, you know, we know certain areas are more flood prone than others. We know certain areas maybe have on water underneath. So we build according to what those realities are, right? Ultimately, one would. Yeah.
Before I go, right? The problem is the adhesive. The adhesive that lays underneath between the dirt and the pure, that was the concrete, whatever's being poured on, is the adhesive. That's the problem right there, sir.
Well, I don't know if I've seen them put adhesive. Man, I need to come in and listen. I didn't watch the work that serious. Like, but you know, I know they had to watch the work, like, cause then I had to pretend like I know where to say or where I need to say, right? I know I've had conversations with a couple of people that are involved, and they would critique and would explain to me, well, what they did wrongly, like, for example, you know, compacting the soil, they didn't do it properly, or they didn't leave it long enough, or that becomes problematic. Like, but I don't want to play like I don't know expert on it. All I say is, I use just common sense. If we put the money, if we put down the road, one would imagine that our expectations when doing that is that even if we could take at least 10 years worth of with normal rainfall, it can't be that I build a road, but once we get rainfall any at all, I want to get up, I want to get potholes. Like, if a road they down for 15 years and it start to get pothole, like, I perfectly understand that adjusts wear, tear, and water. If it happened too soon, non-engineering, but enough common sense to know that happened kind of early. Or if I see one area constantly, we just constantly have to repair, spend money on it. Again, I agree with Will. If we were to do the audit on the amount of money that we've spent just between the entrance of the city here in Belize City to Halover, we've been plagued. No, I know a part of this road has a problem. You pass Raimade towards Halover, water there underneath, and we've had all manners of problem, and we've been told that's the problem, and we've been told that the long-term fix for that is to drive pile all the way up to Halover, as they've done with one of the roundabouts. We saw them lay down the piles, and they had to take that entire thing up because it was splitting apart. They put the piles, it seems to be stable, great, good. So we know there's a, but I don't think that is the same problem that you have, for example, when you pass courts and enter the city. We see every damn 1-2 years, it broke up again. Why they broke up again? That's all. I just want to know why they broke up again. I think that is fair to want to understand, because you know I don't need to be an engineer to look at to make an observation of something seems not consistent with other places. And Will just called in to give great evidence that nobody get more rain than PG. They have a section of highway that has not had this problem. So where that builder they put in a road, diamond, so he harder than everything else. Like, we just want to know if that's the way they do, then all the other roads we have to try figure out how we put diamond in that too. Because it shouldn't have to be after every October and November. This will happen, and we see it every year, and we get it. We see the repairs being done, and we see the trucks. We see we're very active MIDH, but we also have to sit down and say, okay, but why some roads they hold up and some don't hold up at all? Constantly require us to be putting in money to just get rid of it. And that was just my point this morning. Among other points, I ended up had to counsel Colin about. And you say, man, call me back, give me feedback, Colin, you have not. You probably get carried away in your political conversation elsewhere. We spoke about the $300 billion that has been agreed at the COP to give to developing countries. We had a little bit of conversation about that. That's where our morning has been spent. Right now, we're going to take our final break, come back and wrap up.
Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show of people. Billies our hopes so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah.